I mean, I love the term you use, ragtag, right? It's like guerrilla warfare all over again. The entire roster of Downpayment, we've got 5 different countries across 3 different continents. That's how much of a scrapbook this whole thing is. But the fact that they're all star players in their own rights means that they will come out swinging. The real question is, how synergistic are they going to be?
Yeah, I'm very curious as to how Gen.G is going to operate, because you've got a player from the United States, you've got a player from Canada, two of them playing right now here in map number 1. Top it off with a bunch of Koreans. I'm just a little bit skeptical as to how the communication is going to be here for Gen.G. I know this is also their first time playing here on the professional level, at least here on broadcast. So we'll see how they turn out against the likes of Downpayment.
Yeah, picks and bans are already in order, and nothing too surprising thus far. By the 4th level, we've already got Captain America bans, plus the Human Torch out of the way for the Gen.G side, and rightly so. You know, we've got like the likes of Snake, who has been on the Outrun in the past, you know, has rocked a little bit of the Human Torch in the sky, so that's an important one to take out of their hands.
Yep. Now we are settled down. Yep, so far everything has been as expected. Both teams also banning out the Captain America, both teams banning out the Loki. Mantis also being off the table, so it's been a very, very mirrored draft coming in. And now we await to get ourselves onto the first map, which is always going to be domination. And the map itself is randomly generated. And this time, the random number generating gods have chosen Krakoa, a map full of portals, full of ways to get into several different areas of the map.
Yeah, so it leaves flanks a little bit open for the taking. You've got a little high ground here and there as well to set up a defensive structure for your strategists. And once again, you know, Felix rocking the Jeff, a bit of a comeback. I love seeing more and more Jeffs here in the server. It's beautiful seeing the Land Shark grace us with their presence.
Yeah, and we've seen so many plays coming in already. Like that last best of 3, EXO versus U-Wings. That synergistic play with the Rocket Raccoon and the Jeff ultimate, just providing so much utility, so much team-wide potential. And now we set our sights here. Gen.G Sports versus Downpayment. Soon enough converging here on the site.
Yep, triple strategist for the side of Gen.G, just to sustain it a little bit. Snake on their signature Ultron as well with the long-range lasers, as well as Brownie on their comfort pick as well. And Gen.G is already on to this point, supported by Monster, the US player here, rocking the Magneto. Quick and easy, trying to get this point underway, but Downpayment want to collect in as well.
Yeah, it's a North American front line, right? False on the Emma Cross, the honorary Canadian player here, Monster, the American player as well. And they're going to join forces to try to hold down the fort here of the front line as Gen.G look to charge up the site. But there is some resistance coming in from Downpayment. They're trying to make their way in, but Fun dangerously low, and now taken away.
Fun, you know, stand against the likes of Gen.G, their previous team, and it's gonna be a clean sweep. Brownie taking to the skies, collecting names. Donald can stand no longer. The percentage points are climbing.
Yep. Well, now Gen.G take control. That is step 1 of taking over this map number 1. And now Downpayment look to reset, look to regroup, and find another way in. 6 now on the Phoenix as the rest of Gen.G look to hold off. Snake does have the Rage of Ultron. Felix is close to their ultimate, as well as Brownie. So Gen.G looking good to hold off, but Fury Kakae also has Eternal Bond. Luby now also charged up the Fate of both worlds, but it's all going to be on to Monster as Bobo King finds an early pick. 6 will find one on the other side of the map as well. And here is the Meteor. Can he find the mark? Can he land the dunk? Yes, he will. Shuts down the Eternal Bond, but the Fate of both worlds is still available on down payment. So they should be able to hold off, but Felix will pop the ultimate first. Will pop that Fate of both worlds on the side of Gen.G. But now, how will down payment approach this? It looks like they're going to save their ultimates and regroup.
Oh, I mean, just the counter of ultimates from Gen.G was phenomenal, right? To take that back line quick and easy and to force out a few ultimates from the side of down payment as well. Bobo King using that that Dance of the Butterflies, not to the effect that we were hoping for, so I'm wanting more coming out from the ex-Marvel Rivals player. And now looking to kind of do another retake. Donald maybe on the flank as the Venom. 81% in climbing is Gen.G. They'll have to make some play, but Galactic Legends in the hands of Brownie. I'm looking at to start things off. 6 already on their tail. Put Sparks into Brownie and do exactly that.
Yeah, great pick coming in, but false quick to trade. Lumi then immediately trades as well. Great timing from Lumi with the Fate of both worlds to nullify the Silent Seduction coming out of false as Monster taken dangerously low and down payment. The discipline coming in them to save their ultimates for this push as the overtime meter starts to take fruition as Brownie trying to zone every one of down payment away. But look at the meter. It's going in favor of down payment for just a bit, but it's already stopped by a single member of Gen.G. They just have to hold off this push, hold off any sort of resistance coming in, but the Eternal Bond is going to be used. Monster will respond with the Meteor M. Can he land it? No, he will not. So this zone of healing and damage from Fury Kakae will keep the team alive for just a bit longer as down payment will take over.
Oh, beautiful response from Gen.G though. Really, with a right click of all the ages, will have to be traded out by Donald. Snake and Monster make it interesting. They're still competing on this side, trying to strip away any semblance of fun on this point. And sooner or later, this site will be there to claim. Overtime triggered. Looking at down payments to try to make a play here.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
King will be able to touch just in the nick of time, but Hoodie once again has their absolute number and will take control of Krakoa. Point number 1.
Yeah, the player operating the Strange went down as the overtime meter came in, so that respawn timer was just too much for down payment. Yeah, Donald getting wiped out at the worst time possible. Wasn't able to get the teleport down, get the portal to try to desperately claw their way back to deny that round 1 victory over to Gen.G, but unfortunately, that timing was all it took for Gen.G to take round number 1.
Yeah, Gen.G, locking in Ultron for Snake has been so much value. The rage of this strategist is unparalleled, and with Brownie taking to the skies as well, able to get some of these nice picks. Honestly, Gen.G right now, well-oiled machine. Like they never left, like their roster has not changed. They're synergizing quite well with the likes of Monster and False, taking the front lines for themselves, and providing so much distraction for the rest of down payment.
Yeah, and now we move on to the second round. Gen.G looking to get a 2-round win. But for now, they have to overcome this second part as Gen.G looking to take early control of the point before it even comes up as Bobo King has the Dance of the Butterfly. He's approaching closer, but he's immediately detected, but he will be able to get the dance in time. But the Soul Bond coming in from the Adam Warlock. So Hoodie will keep the team alive, just survives the burst and bursts down Bobo King as well as the Silent Seduction does come in as 6 will be wiped out.
Wiped out indeed. It's gonna be Brownie finding another as well. The Soulbond doing so much to sustain the rest of Gen.G and with the double KO coming in from Brownie and Felix. I mean, it's kind of a pushback against DP. Once again, it's Gen.G gonna be able to clean up and get their points rolling for this domination match.
Oh my gosh, Brownie is just playing with fire right now, dancing in and out of low health bar, back to full, back to low, back again. as Downpayment have to look to regroup. As Gen.G do take control and already at that 20% mark. Quick checkup on the ultimate economy. Gen.G commanding in terms of how many ultimates they have to work with.
A nice deep freeze.
Your battle. Great kind of fallback from the set of monsters, but Donald still finds it. Now Brownie high up in the sky finds the Galactic Legends. I'm looking at Fun trying to enact some havoc with the Meteor M, but finds nothing. But eventually it's going to be for Rakake and six. Downpayment just collecting names at the moment. Before you know it, sights theirs. They're able to slowly get their first inkling of point control here at point 2.
Great little play coming in from Six just to get that finish down as Gen.G. Now on the back foot, they have a lot of ultimates to work with. They actually didn't pop them out of desperation. They agreed to save them for the next fight. And now Downpayment closing the gap now here in round number 2 as Gen.G have a lot more ultimates to work with, but the Goddess of Death will be popped immediately. And there is the rage to keep every one of Gen.G alive, as well as providing the hurt, providing the damage from above. But here comes Brownie, dancing his way onto the site. And Brownie will take 2, make it 3 as Brownie comes out with a double false, will add things up. Brownie going absolutely ballistic here.
It continues to show why Brownie stayed on this main roster. The tracking is unbelievable right now from the Duelist, and collecting names is their key element here. Hoodie doing the exact same thing. I feel like Hoodie's taken out Bobo King like 3-4 times in the last 2 points, and that number's going to continue climbing unless Bobo King figure a way to get back in and style off.
Hoodie now needs to play the safe game, needs to run for cover just to make sure his Karmic Revival can go off in time. Downpayment are threatening with so many ultimates. The Fateful Floats from Lumi, the Feast from Donald, Bobo King with the dance as well. Already taken dangerously low, which will force Lumi to use the Fateful Floats. And here comes the Feast. Doesn't quite take out anyone. Hoodie is forced into the cocoon. Who will come out on top? Who will come out victorious here as the Meteor is going to be used and it's going to get shut down? Fun actually uses the Meteor to take out Brownie. Pulse takes out Bobo King. Fun and 3 Kakae will take out more, but Hoodie saves everyone's life, saves everyone's souls as the Karmic Revival kicks in at the perfect time as Brownie finally coming online, dances his way back, but Steak will be the one to light up the feed.
And the backline disseminated for the like of Downpayment. It's a bit of a Hail Mary from Bobo King to find a target, but everyone's outside, and unfortunately we're in a bit of a pause here. Holy, as it gets exciting, I believe that timer is going to be Gen.G right up at the top there as we take a bit of a tech pause. It's exciting to say the least. And in the midst of it all, I think we'll have a bit of time to catch our breath.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right. A quick little statistic here. I think it's Gen.G already up in the 90s, very, very close to taking over. And from what it looks like, it is a 2-for-2 trade so far, and someone on a Downpayment is switched over to that Doctor Strange. So we will see a Desperation Teleport. It has to come down. It has to be used. But it's just a question of, can they put it in time? Can someone from Downpayment step onto site to trigger that ultimate meter, or overtime meter? Sorry.
Indeed. I mean, Hoodie, the Adam Warlock on the Gen.G side, being an absolute anchor. You kind of called it right? Having the Karmic Revival meaning you gotta hide somewhere nice and easy, and then when the chips are down, you pull out that Karmic Revival, you bring back 3, and then immediately pop that Galactic Legends to lay waste on the land, together with Snake high in the sky on the Ultron. I mean, Gen.G players are playing out of their minds at the moment. It's still is a chance for at least Downpayment to make their payment here with a bit of a desperation portable. We'll have to see, the likes of Fun as well as I believe, Donald taking the front lines, being more tanky to be a bullet sponge against the Gen.G folks.
Yeah, right now Downpayment, although they are getting potentially 2-0'd here in this map number 1. They are also playing very, very well. They are using their ultimates to try to counter these ultimates that are also being used by Gen.G, like the Meteor M, shutting down that Galactic Legend that first time around here in the second round. there's a lot of adaptations coming in from Downpayment as well as Gen.G. They're both playing at the highest level, but for now, Gen.G are looking to be in a commanding position as we hope to get back into the game as soon as possible.
I mean, that was fun, right? On the Meteor M, just absorbing bullets from the likes of Brownie. Yep, the mainstay. I mean, that's beautiful, but we're probably going straight back into it sooner than later. I feel like it's going to be a tech pause that will be out soon as we wait for it. I mean, yeah, they have seconds to touch the point at the moment, so Downpayment need to really press the issue and get onto the point ASAP.
Yeah, we'll see how Downpayment decide to play out this map, to play out the round. But for now, we are slowly but surely, I think, making our way back. As now, eventually, we're gonna get back into the map, back into the series. But it's just a big question mark because right now, Gen.G looking very strong right now, despite that international talent being come in. There was a bit of a question mark from us here at the caster desk. Can they adapt? Can they overcome that language barrier? And so far, it's looking like Gen.G are doing a good job at that.
They are indeed. You know, there's a lot of like mainstays, like the likes of Snake as well as Brownie, just to be able to hold the fort down and continue to provide so much value like we saw in that previous fight. And Downpayment trying their best to get their way in. We got Bobo King, yes, trying to do some small lurks around the corner as the in-house Psylocke, as well as Furakake running the strategist ults time and time again to support their team. And we'll have to see if that's going to be enough for point 1 here. But hey, Downpayment have a lot to prove. We kind of call them that ragtag team, and it'll take a little bit of a a bit of shining, my apologies, in terms of trying to brush up their synergy, because like we said, they can all click heads, they can all come into the server swinging, but the real question is, hey, how do we do together?
Yeah, it really comes down to the macros and the micro strategies from both teams. But Downpayment also came from the open qualifiers. They have a lot of matches in their belt. They have played so many matches together, and now they're back in stage 2. I feel like some of those matches really help solidify the synergy between these players. But now you're in stage 2. This is a whole different beast. And now we have gotten the information that we are back into the fight, back into the game, as Gen.G are going to take control as Downpayment. Can they get the portal down? It looks like the answer will be no. And that means Gen.G will take over map number 1 in seemingly dominant fashion.
Yeah, I mean, Bobo King knew the win con would have to be some sort of pick at that last possible second with the dance of the butterflies onto onto Brownie that we here see it. Obviously MVP with the number of KOs that they have to their name. And unfortunately, you know, being ready for it was the aim of the game, just to be able to step outside of the deadly dance that Psylocke brings. And it was a shutout for the most part. Unfortunately, no third points to be triggered. And one in the bag for Gen.G.
Yep, map 1 is very well in the bag. Thanks to the heroics of Brownie, who just went absolutely crazy on that Star Ward. Just getting a quad knockout out of seemingly nowhere. Was just able to track down everyone. But then again, you look at the stats from everyone on Gen.G. Look at the numbers. They're all pretty much the same. And we talked about this time and time again. A team that is very similar to each other, very similar in numbers, is much more scarier than having a team that is relying on a star player.
Yeah, hero plays can only do so much, but when you have a well-oiled machine like Gen.G, you know, bringing in that international experience is going to be key. Looking at Downpayment, these stats, I mean, they're not that humbling either. You know, 25k for the likes of Fun, trying to tank up against their old team as much as possible with the Meteor M as well as some of these the shields coming in from Magneto as well. They're doing their utmost best to really be the forefront along with Donald, who had a few pieces of the Abyss, but unfortunately was quickly countered with some strategist ults that Gen.G brought to the table. I feel like Downpayment individually have a lot of ideas up their sleeve, but the problem is I don't quite feel the synergy between the 6-stack at the moment.
Yeah, and that's now we leave it to Downpayment. The ball is in their court. They get to choose the next map. They get to choose what side they play on that map. So we're gonna have to see what Downpayment decide to go for. And keep in mind, it has to be either Convoy or Convergence. So no domination, nothing like that. And yeah, it's gonna be a big question mark as to how the Downpayment will find their way back into this series.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about the picks and bans that Downpayment can kind of work around. You know, they did ban out the Human Torch as a target, I believe, against Brownie, but Brownie is deep enough to work the Star-Lord. So hey, are we gonna see a change in that? Do we want to also focus on Snake with the Ultron that has it's provided so much value in stage 1 and now obviously in stage 2 as well here in their starting series against Downpayment? Gen.G looks solid, and it's really theirs to lose because Downpayment need to be able to come back with a game plan and force a map 3. But we'll have to see what they do on map 2. Only time will tell. And that time will soon pass in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you spent that time taking a breather, because we for sure did. And now we head into the second map here of Gen.G versus Downpayment. Gen.G having that upper hand, have a map to themselves already, and now the ball is in Downpayment's court, and they will choose Midtown as their map of choice.
Yeah, it just seemed like Downpayment missed their first mortgage, so they have a second chance to fight back and forth and force perhaps a map 3. I'm just thinking in my head in terms of replaying that first map in my mind, thinking, hey, what else can Downpayment work? They ran like a single shield with the Magneto and a pseudo dive that was the Donald on the Venom plus Bobo King on the Psylocke. But thinking out loud, I didn't really see the coordination that came out that we saw perhaps in XOXO just recently on Symbiotic Surface, right, where the dives are coordinating and targeting backlines together. It's so much harder when you get hit with 2 different heroes, and when you have Hoodie on the Gen.G side rocking a great soul bond to spread out the damage, you can't go in with individual jumps. You got to move in as a team.
Yeah, we're seeing the stark difference between what EXO had been operating, what Downpayment had been operating. We saw EXO being that well-oiled machine, just knowing that they all have to dive at the same time. And they have been doing that very, very consistently. But here, like you said, on Downpayment, it looks a little bit off. Sometimes we see, you know, Donald going in for those dives, going in for the feast, but Bobo King sometimes either a little too early, a little too late. The timing was just ever so slightly off. And that is all the difference it makes here at the highest level. These macro and micro adjustments need to be on point if you want to come out on top.
Yeah, the macro adjustments have to start here, right? With the picks and the bans. Once again, I'm not going to be surprised if we see the same. Oh, no, wait. I'm going to eat my words immediately with Gen.G banning out Human Torch right off the rip. They know something that unfortunately I don't. They suspect it's going to be the likes of, you know, Bobo King perhaps taking to the skies. I know Bobo King runs a lot of Psylocke. I'm trying to search in my memory palace for a Human Torch play as well. Balls in Downpayment, gonna lock in the Luna Snow though, so that's important.
Yeah, but then again, it's also Midtown, right? These flyers are very, very strong, especially in this Midtown map, and Human Torch is honestly just a very, very safe ban to go through. It's a very generalized one as well, so Gen.G are willing to just ban out a hero that is very, very strong here in Midtown, and Downpayment will do the same.
Yeah, once again, targeting those flyers, that's going to be super annoying. At the highest echelons, Human Torch can do it all, really. And Gen.G perhaps picking up on a bit of a trend in the last couple of matchups, will want to secure the Crystal Lady herself, Emma Frost, now solely within within the choice for Gen.G, an important one to say the least. Let's see how the rest of these bans go.
Yeah, Gen.G picking up Emma Frost is very, very good for them. Emma Frost, especially on Midtown, there's just so many lanes, so many choke points that Gen.G can just absolutely control with that Psionic Seduction from the Emma Frost. And we saw in our past match, XL versus U-Wings, we saw them play on Midtown too, and they both respectfully banned out that Emma Frost. I might backtrack a little bit. I don't know if it was XO versus U-Wings. It might have been our first match of Reject versus Zero Tenacity. But either way, banning out that Emma Frost was vital on Midtown. But here, it is going to land in the hands of Gen.G, and Downpayment will not have access to it.
Yeah, and also interesting enough, Gen.G banned out Magneto away from Downpayment, which is obviously a targeted attempt against their former player, former colleague, if I can say so myself. Right, Fun's gonna have to think about what they want to do within the recesses of their attack spawn. Right now, just I wouldn't look at Downpayment's roster just yet. You know, they're in attack phase, they have a bit of time. But Gen.G look like they've kind of solidified it with once again running the triple Vanguard. Yep, I mean, we've seen
As
so
expected.
much plays around triple Vanguard strategists here around the first corner of Midtown.
Yep, and we've seen other teams operate it. Here, it's no different. As Gen.G look for a 2-0 sweep here in our third best of three of the night against Downpayment. And now the push begins. The bubble to zone Downpayment for a little bit, but look at the approach coming in. Donald already sprinting towards the back line of Gen.G.
They're doubling down on their dive, essentially, with Fun on the Venom, with the tendrils are doing so much, but no one's down just yet. They're looking up top, gonna take down Brownie, who's super low, but manages to tuck away into the hotel recesses for another fight.
Yep, and now Downpayment, their dive attempt is foiled. They weren't able to take out anyone, and they're gonna go for it again, but it looks like it's looking good this time around.
Dance around here. Targets on 6. Will find the mark. That's Brownie switching on to the Vanguard. Can point and click hits. Precisely what you need to do with a nice Magneto. Now, False just taking the front line once again. Huge space. And now the back line is being
great snowball.
I think just takes it out, unfortunately.
Yeah, great snowball coming in from Felix to take out the Jeff. And now there's going to be more adjustments coming in. 6 on the Punisher. Fun now on the Doctor Strange. Is this going to be a portal play, or are they just going to go head first? It looks like it will be the latter. They will just charge on through, but Monster is threatening the Strangling Prison.
Yeah, a bit of a changing pace, right? Double shields with poke damage from Downpayment. Wanting to not run the dive anymore now.
Oh, there it is.
Prison in effect. It's going to force out the labs, waiting for that to go on, and that's going to be the Meteor Ram, finding so much value. Bobo King, as well as Yumi out of action.
Oh my gosh, fate of both worlds be damned. The Strangling Prison from Monster, and then Brownie lands the dunk with the alley-oop from Monster. It's going to be 2 gone from the fight just like that, as 6 desperately finding the final judgment. The Lambs will keep him alive, prevent any sort of extra burst from coming down. But that Karmic Revival from Snake is going to get stunned up. Snake still gets it off. Aya Nagamoto is a little too late. And now everyone on Gen.G already back into the fight. The Fate of Both Worlds is going to be used as well from Lumi with thanks to the God of Mischief. And here we go, another Strangling Prison from Monster. But there is not enough burst just yet, but Donald will finally go down.
You know, Mega Hurricane, a last hail effort. Bobo King has to retract and retreat with the rest of their team. They're not making progress, and they're starting to stagger just a little bit, especially after the attempt of the Karmic Revival and, well, attempt at their life of the Karmic Revival. Fun was caught up on that second floor. So a regroup is in order. Down payment. Times are ticking. Left with less 1 minute now on the clock. Taking this high ground, the long range poke might come in useful. They just have to deal with all this shields and walls coming out from the vanguards.
Look at the ultimate economy. It's already in Gen.G's favor. Fury Kakai does have to pay the both worlds available. And it's going to be a matter of time of when he wants to use it. Hoodie is dangerously low, finally healed up back into healthy fashion. As the rest of Down Payment slowly but surely moving forward, as there is a dangerously low Brownie, and Brownie is gone. Donald will find one as well, and that domino effect of Down Payment going into their favor, but the Karmic Revival yet again foils Down Payment's plans of a further push, as Brownie will find Rikai, who's held on to the Fate of Both Worlds, but Ruby will steal away a Fate of Both Worlds for themselves, as the dump this time around doesn't quite land the mark, but 6 will still go down thanks to the left clicks.
The left clicks indeed. The barrel is a brawl onto this side. Monster finally finds a pick onto Yumi in the midst of it all. Now, I believe it's the Loki running the Fate of Both Worlds. Just trying to provide a little bit more sustain and visible boundaries. From the side of Hoodie, but onto Bobo King having that number time and time again as a strategist. It's the counter. Strangling Prison coming up from Donald, but can't find any face as False just stepping up when necessary, able to take down player after player to shut out at 61 meters around the corner.
A commanding side from Gen.G, a commanding hold. And now things are looking really, really dicey now. Gen.G on the offensive, like you said, roughly 60 meters is all it takes for Gen.G to sweep out Down Payment.
Yeah, we'll have to see, how deep this strat book goes for the side of Down Payment. They went basically full dive at some point in time, realizing that they couldn't figure out the timings for the dive sufficiently. They couldn't wrangle Gen.G into the right corners, and Gen.G were able to weasel their way out. So Down Payment, swapped over to the double shields long range poke with like Storm as well as Punisher. Yep, those were the duelists in hand, but it's just once again too many shields and too many walls from the Gen.G side to make a difference.
I don't.
Down Payment though,
I eliminate
looking for a different approach to the defensive side. Most teams have been using the 3 strategist, 3 Vanguard composition, but it looks like Down Payment going for the default 2-2-2. We'll see how this plays out for them. It looks like they're trying to take control of that first floor of the hotel.
3, 2.
But we'll see how it goes as the gates open. And now we approach the second half. 60 meters separates Gen.G from a map win and a series win, as Monster does lead the charge.
Yeah, Down Payment opting to take a lot more high ground advantage, but hey, you gotta apply pressure on the cart, you gotta stall it out, so that leaves Double Strange Fun dropping onto the side. The stacks are real. It's gonna be Brownie and Monster falling immediately, and this Phoenix goes hard, sending Gen.G back into their spawn.
Yeah, Gen.G are set reeling back to spawn. Need to look for a different adjustment. Snake will go to the Phoenix. And Brownie and Monster staying on the mag and the Psylocke. We'll see how the approach comes in. A different approach coming in from Gen.G, looking to take the high ground on their right side. And Down Payment looking to hold from 2 fronts.
And that's the problem, right? You distract enough for them to get the cart far enough. Down Payment needs to realize that you got to play both fronts. You have to play top as well as the cart itself, because it's coming around. It's only stalled by a single player, but it's going to be 6 going down to the likes of Brownie. Brownie in the back line on his Psylocke doing absolute mayhem, trying to get
point is so close.
6 combo womboed.
Yeah, the point is so close. Snake is providing so much burst damage. Everyone on Down Payment needs to scramble into the site. There's the invisible boundary, but it's going to cause so much chaos. Here comes the dive. It's causing so much damage, but Fury Kakai has the Fate of Both Worlds. Will keep Down Payment alive as Fun and 6 threatening their own ultimates. They are going to pop it. Fun doesn't get the stun off as 6 doesn't quite land the damage in time, but looks like Down Payment are holding for the time being. The Emperor's ultimate will be used from Gen.G as Pulse tries to find a way back as 6 on fire right now.
Yeah, the rare misclick I feel from, you know, the Vanguard Pulse Sonic Seduction, perhaps not really required at that point in time. Might as well wait for a bit of regroup, but hey, that's good news for Down Payment, right? Bobo King now on the high ground, looking for a bit of an advantage in this pick, while on the other side, Gen.G's already taking this top side, forcing them off this card.
Yeah, that's all they need to do. It's so close, 4 meters away from a map win as Brownie wants to kick things off, wants to start a victory push as Brownie will find another. Here comes the Meteor, finds another 2, and that's Gen.G commanding their way to a 2-0 win. And in a matter of time, Gen.G will just swipe away any sort of opportunity from Down Payment.
Holy, I mean 61 meters all the way through onto Midtown on Down Payment's map pick. It was a sure commanding defensive half from the side of Gen.G, and it just took a little bit of a nudge and a couple of team fights from their Gen.G's attack half to make it a nice 2-0 clean sweep against their opponents.
Yeah, props to Gen.G for coming out with a win. We did have some questions coming in, especially with Gen.G overhauling their roster, bringing in international talent from the likes of Monster and False. Both of them are from the Americas, and they have been recruited by Gen.G, who, from what it looks like, have not missed a beat.
They haven't. They really haven't. Taking that front line presence, playing together with their team, False doing some spectacular movements around the Emma Frost. But hey, MVP once again going away to Brownie on the Psylocke with those combo wombos, those left-right clicks. Those shurikens do enough damage to secure yourself enough final hits and push yourself over a pretty short finish line. And looking on the other side, you know, it's not to say that these numbers aren't stacked for the Down Payment folks. Fun once again leading the charge here with 30k damage block on multiple Vanguards actually.
And yet again, look at the scoreboard coming in for Gen.G. Everyone doing their share of the work. All the numbers very, very similar to each other. And that is something great to see if you're a fan of Gen.G, who again have overhauled their entire roster and now looking like the same Gen.G, and that is some great news. As on the other side, Down Payment have a lot of work to do. They have made their way back into stage 2, albeit a different roster for many of these players, especially Fun not being part of that Gen.G roster anymore. But then again, we are still at the early stages of stage 2. There's a lot more chances to come back.
Indeed. I think about Hoodie, right? Who ended off on the Invisible Woman, yes, but for the majority of it, rocking the Adam Warlock, had some insane karmic revivals. And I want to draw attention to the way that was being played versus the way that Down Payment were trying to counter it. There was, on the first half of Midtown, Hoodie on the Adam Warlock hiding away on the second floor, able to get the karmic revival out. And within seconds, Fun, I believe, on the Doctor Strange, right up there with a Eye of Agamotto. But they were the only ones up there, right? It could have been so much value if the rest of this team, the rest of the squad assembled around that Eye of Agamotto. But I think this calls to a bit of a flaw in the communication and the synergy that comes out from Down Payment. You have the calls being made, and unfortunately, perhaps there's too much happening on the cart. Granted, there's a lot happening on the cart.
Yeah, there is.
But you gotta be able to have the correct target acquisition as a team.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, like these calls are just so close to being the perfect play. Like you said, Fun saw that the karmic revival was going off, almost got the Eye of Agamotto stun in time to deny it, but unfortunately, it was just, I think, like half a second or 1 second a little too late, and that was all the difference it makes. Again, these macros, these micro plays, making all the difference here at the highest level.
Indeed, you know, and I think it is. I actually kind of hoped a little bit more from Downpayment. You know, it does take a little bit for a ragtag team coming from, again, 5 different countries, 3 different continents to come together as a group of 6 and work out all their kinks, right? Work out their cultural differences, their communication differences. And I think this is a great opportunity to say, hey, I think we went against one of the best teams here, right, within stage 2. We fell a little short, but a lot of learning opportunities to scrub through the VODs and figure out, hey, where are some of the pain points? Why can't we get survivability strong enough? Why can't we figure out how to counter flank some of their movements and as well as positioning? I think it's a great opportunity for them to head back to the drawing board and figure out how they can take this star-studded cast and polish it up.
I think that's something necessary to do, right? Group B, obviously a very, very stacked group. You've got both Reject and Gen.G in that same group now, as well as some other heavy hitters from like none other than Zero Tenacity, who have a lot of big names that we've seen before, and they are very, very strong. But now Downpayment are sitting on the back foot in what we are going to nickname the group of death here. As they will need to find their way back if they want to squeak their way into playoffs.
Indeed. And if you're Gen.G, you know, you gotta be feeling pretty good. Made a lot of roster changes, changed out 4 people in total, let go a few people, including Fun. Now you're playing against him. And it's kind of still working out for the likes of Monster, False, as well as Felix. Yep. These 4 making their opening debut here with the Gen.G squad, and the numbers, I mean, are beautiful, right? Felix rocking on that Lunasoul 34k healing, and the output and the timing of some of the Fate of Both Worlds was impeccable, right? Now, of course, we can all sing praises. I know chat was absolutely singing the praises of False and Monster being the front line, the American front line, or North American frontliners for the Gen.G squad, just able to tank and take and just sponge up all the damage as much as possible.
I think that's a good approach coming in from Gen.G, right? You recruit 2 frontline Vanguard players from international talent. They both can speak English to each other. They both can communicate how they want to approach when it comes to their front line, and you just let everyone else, like the duelists and the strategists, to just stay in do their own thing, really, in a sense. You just let the Vanguards do their thing. You just give them the standard Vanguards, like the Groot, like the Magneto, and you just let them do what they do best. They just do their own thing, and they will just play off of the duelists. And I think that approach is what Gen.G were envisioning when recruiting these players, and it seems to work out so well in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the coach or owners of Gen.G, I feel like you gotta be a little heavy, a little happy with that performance that you just saw, right? Like, it is a bit of a gamble, you know. You had something kind of good working for you. Yeah, sure, only 2nd place at the end of stage 1, and then unfortunately a fairly quick elimination in the mid-season finals. And so you can either do one of 2 things: make slow, methodical changes and change 1, maximum 2 players at a time until you find yourself in a good kind of synergistic stack of 6, or you do exactly what Gen.G did. You kind of tear open the machinery and throw stuff out that you didn't quite like, and put more stuff back in. And at least off the get-go, 1 data point is not a lot to work off, but it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And Gen.G looking to make a name for themselves, try to take over the top step, and it looks like we do have word of an interview incoming from none other than False, one of the Vanguards of Gen.G, who will be joining us in just a moment.
Indeed. I mean, chat, once again, for these interviews, be sure to drop your favorite questions into the chat if we can pick those up. But lo and behold, we have False themselves here on the desk. Welcome, False. Welcome. How do you feel after that win against Downpayment?
I'm feeling pretty good. Solid. Happy to make it quick, you know. Pretty easy game overall, I can't lie. I was hoping for, a little more fighting back, but it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And Gen.G looking to make a name for themselves, try to take over the top step, and it looks like we do have word of an interview incoming from none other than False, one of the Vanguards of Gen.G, who will be joining us in just a moment.
I was hoping for,
It is what it is indeed, and I know you're playing. I'd assume you're playing from North America. I know.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm also currently located in North America. How are you preparing for these matches? I know it's a very big of a time difference, and it's a little bit of a difficult time to adjust. How have you been adjusting to this?
My sleep schedule's been like pretty crazy actually. I go to bed at like 5:30, 6 p.m. I wake up like 2:30 a.m. Then we got like do a little like review before our first block, and then practice like 4 to 8 a.m. and then straight after practice I'm going straight to school. Like I got class right after.
Oh my goodness!
It's a schedule.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Chat, let it be known. It's not just fun and games here behind the scenes. Our esports players are athletes at their finest level, and False is a solid specimen of that. Hey, moving on to kind of like the team synergy, you know, you're moving into a pretty stacked Korean roster that have really established themselves. You and Monster coming in from around the world. You know, how was it trying to integrate yourself into an established roster?
It's had its challenges for sure. Like the language barrier is definitely like a little bit difficult, but honestly everybody on our team has like pretty solid English, like basic English at least. So most of our comms are in English, and I think everyone does like a pretty good job trying to like understand, and we like, you know, we have like certain keywords for certain ideas that we want to communicate. It's honestly it's been relatively easy, like a relatively smooth transition from formerly like only playing with like full NA rosters.
Yeah, and that is great to see. And obviously, you are definitely carrying the Gen.G banner. You are looking like the favorites to win it all. And with that, I think that'll be it for the interview. Thank you so much for joining us, and you can go celebrate with the team and maybe get some sleep as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
And that was False, the new Vanguard that is part of the Gen.G roster, making their opening debut. I mean, it's good to see them all calm, collected. Yeah, it might be the sleep deprivation talking, but if you're able to play your hearts out just like False did, I'm pretty sure Gen.G will have no problem moving forward.
Yeah, and that's something great to see, you know. Despite bringing in international talent, this was something that Gen.G wanted to do. They wanted to